Next episode is about a day that I had. It's very exciting. Actually, it was we did this podcast that day when I got home. A little incident between some mediation. So check it out. 100% truth, no bullshit.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. Special episode today. Some real insight into the underworld of Japan. Bit of a crazy day for Enson, so he's going to here to tell you a bit of a story about a typical evening for him.
Yeah, it was exciting. My life used to have more of these incidents before, but since I kind of settled down, got older, settled down, I don't really have much of this kind of stuff happening. So, it was kind of interesting because I got a call from this guy, Matsuda Sosai. And he, I don't know, out of the blue, he said, can you come to the office on Tuesday? So it's Tuesday here, Wednesday here. Yeah? So he said, can you come to the office on Wednesday at 3:00? So I'm like, huh. And I said, okay, I'll come. And then before we cut the phone, he passes the phone to someone else, and I hear the guy on the line. He's like, oh, who's this? And he goes, oh, this is Sasaki, and that guy is the top guy of the Chinese mafia. They call him Dragon. So he's the guy who actually made the family. So he decided that there's a lot of Chinese in Japan. So he decided to form a group called Dragon. And so he's a top guy. I've been friends with him for over 20 years. And so he was there. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, oh, good. I get to see Sosa and I get to see Sasaki Dragon. So I'm like, oh, right. I get to see both of you. Okay, I'll drive into town on Wednesday. Then this morning I was sitting at home thinking, holy shit, I got to drive like an hour and a half into town. I was thinking, I better find out what it's for, because if it's for nothing, I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to go. So I called the Chinese guy, and I asked him, what's going on? And then he told me, and I'm in the car on the way down now, and he tells me, there's a problem between me and this Yakuza guy from Osaka. So I'm like, oh, what kind of problem? And he started talking to me so fast that I really couldn't get the gist of what he was saying. So I decided to go onto YouTube, and I just Googled his name, and I Googled the other guy's name. And all these, there was this, I don't know, I couldn't find the root of it all, but all I knew that they were going back and forth on each other's on their YouTube channels, like talking shit, like the guy was like calling him out. And then the Chinese guy was kind of cool about it, kind of laughing and calling him an old man. And so I'm like, okay. So I made some phone calls to some of my friends to find out who this other guy was, because I knew the Chinese guy. So I made some phone calls to find out, and I found out he was a big Yakuza in Osaka. And I just wanted to know the background. So when we went in, I was, I figured, fuck, I'm not really a part of it. So I thought, Sosai called me just to be a backup in case something went bad. So I sat down, and I told Sosai, I said, what is the problem? Because I kind of knew, but I wanted to hear it from him. So I said, what is the problem? He goes, well, he said, one of the guys that's kind of connected to him, the Osaka guy is connected to him, and the Chinese mafia is having problems. So Sosai tells me, well, Enson, you're you're like my son. You introduced me to Dragon 20 years ago, and now I'm friends with them. I don't want the Chinese mafia to think that I have a problem with them. So he said, what the story, he out of the blue, he goes, what the story's going to be is that you didn't you're friends with me, you're friends with Sasaki, the Chinese guys. So I didn't want two people that I know going to war. So he made it where I called them together. Yeah, so I was like, oh shit. I was saying, fuck. I don't know if I want to be that involved in it. I was like, holy crap. So I figured out what the hell, just go with it. So when first the Chinese guy came in first, and then he sat down. I said, hi, what's up? We kind of shook hands because I know him well. And then he comes in with just another guy, so two guys only. And then the guys from Osaka come in, and they got like 8 guys with them. I mean, you see, it's just like a scene out of a movie where they all start coming in. The head guy comes in, and he's down there, and he's bowing to, like doing his greeting. And then so they sit down, and then I was thinking, okay, I'm not gonna. Sosai's gonna pretend like I'm the one who called the meeting, but I'm not gonna step over my boundaries, and I'm not gonna go there. So I just sat in the back, and then when I sat in the back, they both sat at the table, kind of way at the other side of the room. So I figured, if Sosai doesn't call me, I'm just gonna stay here. So he starts doing it. They start hashing it out. Things actually go pretty good. And then I hear Sosai mention that, Enson's like my son. He's introduced me to the Chinese a long time ago. The Chinese now are my friends. And he looked at the other guy and said, hey, you're with me. You cannot have problems with the Chinese. So they kind of decide to squash it. And then it's going to be up. I mean, in fact, you can probably post this. It's going to be up on YouTube. Okay. Where they because it was such a big YouTube war, they took a video for both their YouTubes to say that they squashed it, to let everyone know they squashed it. Okay, so everything was good. They took that video. The Osaka guy talked, the Chinese guy talked. Okay, everything's done. So I'm thinking, this is so easy. I just started playing games on my phone and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, this lady in there starts saying, hey, what the fuck is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? I'm like, what's going on? She goes, he's streaming. He's live streaming it on YouTube. Yeah, so in the meeting now, three times it was said, no recording, no nothing. This meeting is a behind closed doors meeting. So no recording. So they said 3 times. So the fact that the guy was recording was really bad. So what she did was this lady was on it, man, because when she caught him, she went straight onto the guy's YouTube and saw the live stream going.
Whoa.
And then she kind of jumped. She confronted the guy, said, "What are you doing?" And then she was going to show that, look, he's streaming, and it fucking cut off. So he turned it off right when he did that. So what happened was, so then the Chinese guy got really mad, and he was like, "Oh, you fucker! What are you streaming for? What are you doing? That's crazy! What the hell are you doing?" And then he starts saying, "Oh, I wasn't streaming. And then so the lady said, "No, you were streaming. I saw you streaming." So that guy kept denying it, and then so the Chinese guy said, "Get the fuck out of the room!" Kicked the guy out of the room. So the guy starts going out of the room, and I don't know. This is what I saw. The guy starts going out of the room, and I seen, and the Chinese guy got up and wanted to beat him up, and all I saw is Sosai go like that. So he kind of gave him the okay, yeah. So then that's when I was sitting in the back room, and I saw him do that, and I saw the Chinese guy go out, because the Chinese guy told me he's not going to do anything. So I said, okay, that's going to be easy then. Unless that guy starts getting real wise and pisses him off, I'll figure, okay, it's good. I'm just going to sit back and watch the show. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, oh shit, he got the green light, and the guy's kind of crazy. He'll stab people and everything. Yeah. Whoa. So I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do? So I started walking out to the room, but because there were so much Yakuza guys, I had to push my way through. So I had to push my way through, and I kind of had to like push guys on the side so I could get to the front where the two guys were like facing off. So the guy obviously was wrong. He was high streaming. He was streaming the thing. He was living it. Yeah. So the Chinese guy was like fucking talking to him and punching him in the chest. Like, what the hell are you doing? Boom. And the guy was just taking it. And the guy was saying, "Oh, what do you mean? I'm not doing nothing." He just denied it. And then finally, after the fifth punch, the guy punches the Chinese guy back.
Oh.
And that's when shit started going crazy. And
is that because he was like a more senior guy and that he like a higher rank guy?
The Chinese guy was the top guy, yeah.
Right. Okay, shit. So
but the Chinese guy is only 52 years old, yeah, so he's younger than me.
Right.
And then so when he punched the Chinese guy, I was standing right in front of them too. They were like facing off, and I was standing right there in case it went crazy. But I told the Chinese guy that if shit goes down, I'll let you get some cracks in first. And then, but I'm going to have to stop you. He goes, okay. So when that happened, I kind of let it go, but it was like he missed his punch and then they started scuffling. And then I was like, I wasn't stopping him because I was going to let him go fight a little bit. Yeah. And then all the other guys in the suit all come and start grabbing him and start pulling him away like that. And I'm thinking to myself, this must have looked so fucked up because I was right on the front and we started fighting. I didn't even grab nobody. So I finally hey, what are you doing? Okay. So what I did was I said, oh, okay, shit, I gotta get in between. So I stood in between. I didn't touch anybody, I just stood in between. And I noticed the guy from Osaka, one of the guy who was videoing, he started like getting mad. And that's when I kind of snapped. Because I was thinking, this guy just did something wrong. What is he doing? He's like, you know how they do that where some people like try to defend themselves by getting angry? So we call it in Japan, we call it gyakukire. Gyakukire. Kire is to get mad. Gyaku is the opposite. So he was wrong, but he pretended like he was wrong. So when that happened, I got upset. So I kind of grabbed the guy, put him in the corner, and I just told him, hey, dude, apologize, man. You did wrong. You should apologize. You were streaming. You were living it. You live streamed it. And he looked at me and goes, no, I didn't. I said, bro, I said, the lady saw you streaming. I said, you mean you're not going to be a true man and admit your mistakes. And then because it was getting so crazy, if shit like went real bad, like people got stabbed and stuff in the building Sosai lived in, then they would cause a problem. They would probably ask him to leave. Yeah, so we decided to take it out on the street. So, I mean, it wasn't any better because we were like, you can tell because had the Chinese guy and the guy who was videoing had their boss standing here. I was standing on this side and had three other guys around us, their guys.
Right.
So like it's so it looks like it's something out of a movie. Like if someone was walking by, they'd be like, "Holy shit, something's going down!" It's like an underworld thing. Shit, so obvious. So I was like, "Fuck, this isn't any better, man." I was standing there, and then you know what's real crazy, man, was so they started facing off, and then I let them talk, and then the guy who videoed was saying. He finally admitted that he videoed. And then he started saying, oh, but I had it on mute. And then he said that, and then the lady saw that on the live stream, there was a comment that came in that said, the comment said, oh, look, it's gonna go down now. So she was like, holy shit, it wasn't on mute if they're making those comments like that. If it was mute, they wouldn't know what was going on. So this guy goes, and so the Chinese guy is super pissed at this guy, and he's about to beat him up. And you know what this fucking young guy does? He looks at the boss and goes, he told me to stream it, which is like totally against anything because you don't video that kind of shit. You know, you don't video it.
Yeah.
And so if the guy actually told his guy to video it, I mean live stream it, that's like freaking like out.
Wow.
So the top guy looks at the kid and goes, I never tell you that, you fucking liar. And then he looks at the other guys next to him, goes, did I ever say that? Those guys are scared to. They go, no, you didn't. And you know, the young guy, he insisted. He said, I have proof. I have video of it. You told me to live it, video it.
But quick question: is that guy's his boss, right?
Yeah, that's why it's unheard of. Usually the guys would just shut up.
Yeah, he just threw him under the bus, basically. Like,
so I was thinking, okay, if this boss guy told him to stream, and then he's letting the guy take the fall, that's kind of dickish. If this guy, regardless if this guy wasn't supposed to stream, or even if the boss did tell him to stream, to tell us that the boss told him to stream is fucked up too. So I'm saying these guys are just fucked up all the way around.
That's crazy.
So they start arguing. The boss and the guy start arguing, and you know the Chinese guy was arguing with the guy who lived it, who videoed. But then they start arguing. So we're standing looking at each other like, what the fuck's going on? So I looked at the guy, the Chinese guy, and I said, this is a fucked up family, these guys, man. They're fighting with each other. So we stepped in and we said, hey, we said, you know, that problem is your problem. We got to deal with you because you videoed. If he told you or he didn't tell you, that's your problem later. So the top guy goes, let's go back in. And then he kicked the younger guy out. Yeah, so they start going back into the building, and then I hang out a little later, and I go up to the younger guy. I say, you know what? If you actually have proof and you really didn't do it, and he's throwing you under the bus now, I say you should think about your relationship with the guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah. So we all went back down. We went back down, and then so now there's a problem because they videoed, yeah. So I went back down, and then the guy starts the boss guy starts just going off on the younger guy, saying, I can't believe he videoed. That's horrible. I can't believe he videoed. I can't believe him, man. And then I was thinking, wait, it's your responsibility. That's your guy. You brought him here. But he wouldn't acknowledge that. He just kept blaming the guy. So it got to a point where I got fed up with it. And so I had to, you know, I just couldn't deal with it. So I just went and I told him, you know what? I told him, you need to do the proper thing. I said, that's somebody you brought. That guy is under you. If he fucks up, you are responsible. And then he goes, oh, no, I didn't know. I didn't tell him to do that. Then he starts going off and saying stuff like, oh, but it's not on anymore. He erased it. Like, that's beside the point. The point is what you did. You broke a pact. You're not supposed to video this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got pissed off, and I kind of just went at him, and I told him, you know, I said, you should do the proper thing, and you should apologize for your guy. You should take responsibility. It's your responsibility. And then he goes, and he starts making excuses again. So I just kind of turned around. I say, you know what? You're not a man. You can, if you in Japanese, if you can hear it, you can hear it. I'm saying, otoko janai. So I'm saying, you're not a man. You're not a man. And then I was pretty much like, you know what? And he starts making excuses to me. So I just turned my back on him and I say, you know what? There's no sense talking to you. You're fucking just bullshitting. There's no sense talking to you. And then what we decided to do was that he was saying that the guy didn't do it. The guy was saying he didn't. He's also saying he didn't tell the guy to do it. And the guy was saying he did. And the guy said he had proof. So I decided to run upstairs to see if the guy's still around. And I was going to drag him back into the office and make them do it right in front of each other. Went upstairs. The guy wasn't there. So I walked to all the parking lots. So I was maybe in the car or something. He wasn't there. So I went back down and I told the boss to call him. So the boss goes and calls him. He doesn't answer the phone. And first, the boss isn't calling him. The boss is like taking super long. So I was almost about to say, you fucking bullshitter, call him, just call him. How can you not get in touch with your guy?
Mm.
But then he finally got him on the phone. And when he got him on the phone, I don't know, things changed because I was convinced that that guy who the boss told him to do it. But all of a sudden the guy was saying, "Oh, I don't know." I told him, "Tell him to come back." He tells the guy to come back. The guy goes, "Oh, I don't know. It's gonna take a while." And like, "What? How long? What do you mean it's gonna take a while?" And he goes, "Oh, I didn't video. I didn't stream," he said. "Oh, you didn't stream." He kept saying that. And so he's running away now. So, that's where that we wanted to bring the guy in, check his phone and see who was lying. But you know what? That was actually good that the guy didn't come back, because if we found out that the boss guy was lying, then that would be the whole big problem now between the Chinese now and those guys. So it's a good thing that the guy didn't come back. So, I mean, the Chinese guy was real cool about it. All he told the guy was, the guy kept making excuses, and then so after I kind of came in and said, you should admit what you did. And so the Chinese guy told him, all I need is I want you to bow your head and apologize. And this guy was the type of guy that doesn't do that kind of stuff. You could tell the way he was acting. He kind of puffed his chest and shit. So it was funny though. He finally said, "Yeah, okay," and he bowed down. He said he's sorry. And I was kind of surprised. The Chinese guy was, "Okay, we're done with that." And then I chimed in and I said, "Okay, now I'm glad we took care of it." I said, "But if tomorrow or the next day or the following day, there's somebody that recorded it and posted it back up, then we have a whole nother problem." So there's two things pending now. One thing's pending is a guy said he's going to go back and take care of it. So he has to take care of it and then let us know what he did. The second problem now that is possible is if he gets it out. I mean, if it does come out, then there's going to have to be another gathering to figure out what type of penalties the guy's going to have. So that was my day. And the funny thing is, that lady. So when I was leaving, the Chinese guy and his guy and the lady was leaving at the same time. So when we left, the lady came up to me and then said, "Oh, let's have a relationship. I mean, like, let's keep in touch and stuff. Go to dinner. I want you to introduce you to a lot of rich people that I know," like that. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then the Chinese guy looks at me, "You know who that is?" I said, "What?" He goes, "You know whose daughter that is?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "Oh," and so he told me she's the daughter of the second largest family. He's the daughter of the number 2 guy in the second largest family in Japan.
Wow.
And that right there, I was like, "Oh, no wonder." Because the thing was really weird was the lady was saying the same things I was saying when the guy was trying to blame the younger guy and saying stuff like, "Oh, but it's erased. Nobody saw it." I was thinking to myself right there, like, that's not the point. The point is you broke the pact. And then when I was going to say it, the lady would say something that I wanted to say, like, "Oh, this lady is on it. She's so perfect." And now I know why, man. She's been around that. And, when you're around the underworld or like the gangster people, they have this code, yeah? This code of, doing, if you, they call it sujitosu, which means that you do things properly. So like if you screw up, if your guy under you screws up, you take responsibility. So and if you promise not to video, whether what you took doesn't matter. The fact that you videoed is already a freaking problem. So she had those etiquettes down. Like I was like, oh, because there was a lady, and I was like, oh, well, this lady's kind of bold because she's talking to them, like almost like talking down on them. And then I was thinking, oh, she's like on it. She's like has that code really good. No wonder.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Damn.
So frick. I went there at 3. I got there early purposely because I thought I didn't want to be, I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't want to be seen walking in at either one of them. I wanted to make sure I was neutral and I wanted to be there before any of them came.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in early at about 2:30. Everybody came at 3. I fucking left the place at 6:30. And
That's a
that
long
was my
meeting.
whole
Yeah.
I was actually I got my okay on my visa. So I was supposed to stop at immigration and get my visa. But when I decided to go in early, I thought, oh shit, I better go in. I better not take a chance because the visa sometimes takes a long time if there's a big line. So I thought, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I drove in. I drove into the town, and then I was actually going to go stop by there's a district with all the stones, and I needed to fill some of the stock I have in here in Japan that's going low. So I
Oh,
was thinking
cool.
after the meeting, after I meet with Soul Sidem, I'll go into and buy some stores at one of the town. And fuck 6:30, the place closed at 5.
Oh no, all closed.
So I pretty much had to drive straight home. Yeah, and when I got in the car and was driving back, it was already like 7 o'clock. Was traffic hour, so something that usually takes about an hour and 10 minutes to get home took me 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Wow.
So that was my day, and my babies were waiting all day, so they're appealing that they were neglected. So
That is some crazy
usually
shit, man.
usually I put the boys in the room to sleep, and I sleep with the cowgirl out here. I mean, in the bedroom. But I think tonight they're going to get a little treat, and me and Sarah call it slumber party. So I'm gonna sleep. We're gonna sleep on the couch. So the couch area is pretty huge, yeah. So I got a huge couch, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a slumber party. So whenever it's time to go to bed, where I start turning off the TV and stuff, Bernie and Tamashi kind of look at me like, "No, you're not gonna tell us to go home." And when I say go home, they kind of look at me like, "Fuck," and they drag their ass home. And when I put them in the cage, they look around, they turn around, look at me like, "You're a dick. You neglect us." Kind of like, "Whoa, you guys got like the freaking king's life in here."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I take the cowgirl into the room with me.
You recorded it actually when we did that day in the life video. I remember there was some clips in there. So if people haven't seen it, check that out. That's quite good.
Yeah, yeah.
Shows
So,
you,
phew. In fact, I can. I'll send you a video of it so that you can actually post it on this stream.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. It's a
So they're
wild
gonna be
Wednesday,
super
eh?
stoked when I don't say go home tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's nice that you have a little bit of a chilled evening though, like after such a wild Wednesday.
Yeah. So now it's like a Johnny Depp Amber Heard time now. I gotta catch
Oh,
up on
right,
all that.
catching
I've
up.
been watching all that shit, man. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty nuts. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean,
And that was
people are
my
gonna
day. How was your day?
not as exciting as that's for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, it's so rare that you actually see any insight, right? In terms of like the Japanese underworld. Like the stuff you see online is real, like kind of sensationalist, I guess is the right way of saying it. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know
Yeah. Kind of make they wanted to look a certain way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's quite cool just to hear like this is what the average sort of stuff is happening. But it's funny because when you said about the beef between the two parties, I was thinking, oh, turf war or drug deal gone bad, and you were like, YouTube. And I was like,
Dude,
YouTube?
when I got in there, I just shook my head and started laughing to myself, thinking, "Oh my god, they're almost starting a war because of YouTube."
That's
Like, holy
crazy.
crap, this is like a whole new generation. Now they're having fights
Yeah,
about YouTube, man. What the fuck, man?
generational thing, man. Definitely. It's just
Crazy shit, man.
it's weird how social media affects everything, even the underworld is.
I know, crazy, man, crazy. But that was my day, so. And I
It's
know
awesome, man.
you've been battling diapers and crying baby, so
Just
I'm
the
pretty
boring
sure
life.
you had a kind of exciting, almost as exciting as mine.
I'm living for you. Well, hopefully some of our viewers enjoyed it as well, right? And if you guys want to, have any questions about that sort of scene in Japan, then I'm sure Enson will be happy to answer them. But yeah. Well, unless you've got any parting words, we'll wrap this episode right up.
Yep, life's a big, exciting journey for me, and live to tell the story, live to live another day. So all's good. because that could have went ugly, but it turned out okay.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what the aftermath is, right? There may be a part 2 to this episode.
There might be a part 2, so we'll see.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon.